Why do we push away the people we love most? Why do we crave closeness, but shut down when it finally shows up? The answer lies in our attachment wounds, hidden injuries from our earliest relationships. These wounds shape how we give love, how we receive love, and how we protect ourselves when love feels too risky. And unless we understand them, we repeat the same cycles, over and over again. Our first lessons about love were not taught with words. They were taught through presence, through tone, through touch. Did someone respond when you cried? Were you comforted or shamed for your emotions? Did you feel safe or invisible? The answers to those questions became the blueprint for how you relate today. Whether you cling, withdraw, please, or explode, it's not because you're broken, it's because your nervous system learned how to survive. Many of the arguments we have in relationships aren't really about what's happening now. They're echoes of being ignored, of being blamed, of feeling small, unheard, or unsafe. Your partner might say something small, but it hits something big in you. And before you even know what's happening, your body is defending itself against a ghost from years ago. Some of us become anxious when love feels distant. We chase, we over-explain. We ask, "Do you still love me?" Others withdraw when things get hard. We pull away, get quiet, pretend we don't care. These patterns may look opposite, but they come from the same root, a fear that love will leave. If you were told, "You're too sensitive," or "Stop being dramatic," you learn that emotion makes people pull away. Pause. So now, you keep everything inside, or you hide behind logic, or you apologize for having needs. But you're not too much, you're not too needy, you're just human, and you were shaped by what you thought you had to do to keep love near. When attachment wounds go unhealed, closeness starts to feel dangerous. So we protect ourselves. But that protection comes at a cost. We stop asking for what we need. We assume we'll be rejected. We numb out instead of opening up. And over time, even in a committed relationship, we feel alone. Not because the love is gone, but because safety is. It's easy to believe your partner is the problem. They don't listen. They pull away. They get defensive. But underneath the frustration is something much more vulnerable. A wound that says, "I don't feel safe." Your partner isn't your enemy. Your nervous system is trying to protect you from a threat that may not exist anymore. That's not weakness. That's survival. A raised voice, a delayed text, a disappointed look. These things might seem small, but to a wounded heart, they feel huge. That's because your brain isn't just reacting to this moment. It's reacting to every time you felt rejected, every time you reached for love and didn't find it. Your partner isn't trying to hurt you, but your body doesn't know the difference. When the pain gets triggered, your system goes into protection mode. For some, that means silence. For others, it means shouting. Neither response is about being mean. Both are about being scared. You shut down because speaking feels risky. You explode because silence feels unbearable. And both are really saying, "I don't know how to stay present when I feel this unsafe." Many people think, if we argue, something's wrong. But conflict isn't the enemy. Emotional danger is. Safety isn't about having a perfect relationship. It's about knowing that when things get hard, your connection won't break. That you can say something vulnerable and not be punished for it. That you can mess up and still be held. That's safety. That's love. You can understand your wounds. You can read every book. But healing doesn't happen in your head. It happens in connection. It happens when someone sees the scared part of you and stays. When you risk saying, "I feel afraid right now," and the other person doesn't run. Healing is slow, but it begins with one moment of honesty, met with kindness. Your past shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. You can choose to pause instead of panic. You can choose to soften instead of shut down. And you can choose to believe this. Just because love felt unsafe before doesn't mean it has to stay that way. You're allowed to try again. You're allowed to be loved in a new way. When you're used to being hurt, even love can feel suspicious. A kind word might make you flinch. A hug might feel overwhelming. But healing begins when you slow down and notice. No one is yelling. No one is leaving. I'm okay right now. These moments don't erase the pain, but they teach your body that safety is possible again. When your partner reacts in a way you don't understand, ask yourself, what might this be protecting? Instead of judging their behavior, get curious about the wound underneath it. Maybe the silence is fear. Maybe the anger is shame. Maybe the distance is grief. When we look past the reaction, we can finally reach the heart. Real intimacy isn't built by avoiding pain. It's built by walking through it, together. When you let your guard down, even just a little, when you say, "This is hard for me, but I want to try," you're planting a seed of safety, a seed of love that doesn't require perfection, just presence. And love grows best in places where we feel seen. Sometimes the most healing words are the simplest. I'm here. I see you. You're not too much. We'll figure this out together. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need to say everything right. You just need to stay. Love grows when we show up, not when we fix, but when we stay. You don't have to regulate your emotions alone. That's what co-regulation is for. It's the way one person's calm helps another person feel safe. It's how a gentle voice tells your body, you're not in danger anymore. Pause. In a healthy relationship, we hold each other, emotionally, until the storm inside settles. What you can't name, you can't change. Instead of saying, you're never there for me, try, I feel alone, and I don't know how to reach you. Instead of, you're so cold, try, when you get quiet, I feel shut out. These small shifts don't just reduce conflict, they build bridges. They turn blame into vulnerability, and vulnerability into connection. You may not have grown up feeling safe, but you can become the safety you always needed. Every time you slow down instead of snap, every time you listen instead of defend, you're creating a new legacy. One where love doesn't require fear. One where emotional honesty is welcome. One where connection isn't earned, it's given. You've spent years surviving, navigating triggers, avoiding conflict, staying small to feel safe. But you don't have to just survive anymore. You were made to belong, to speak your truth, to hold and be held, to feel known, even in your mess. Especially in your mess. This is how healing begins, not by hiding, but by being fully human with someone who stays. Healing doesn't mean becoming perfect. It means allowing someone to love the real you, even the scared, messy, reactive parts. When you say, this is me, and I'm trying, and the other person says, I see you, and I'm staying, that's where the old story ends, and a new one begins. Intimacy isn't about just being physically close. It's about being emotionally open and feeling safe while doing it. If your body is in survival mode, no amount of words will feel comforting. This is why nervous system safety is so important. When you feel safe, you stop analyzing every word. You start resting in love, not questioning it. If any part of this felt familiar, you're not alone. We all carry wounds from the past. We all long to be seen and loved without having to earn it. That longing isn't weakness. It's human. And your story isn't over. There is still space for connection, even in the places you once thought were beyond repair. Thank you for joining me for episode 5. Today we explored how attachment wounds shape our patterns, and how healing begins not with perfection, but with presence. In our next episode, we'll dive into emotional safety, what it really means, how to create it, and why it's the foundation for all deep connection. Until then, be gentle with your wounds, and remember, you were never too much. You just needed to feel safe.